Hi, I'm Oscar Womack, owner of Coherent Contracts, LLC. It's not every day you get to hear from someone with over half a century's experience in the military aerospace business, but that's our pleasure today. Today we got Larry Kennedy here with us. Tell me a little bit about some of the highlights of what you've done and maybe some of the challenges involved.
The first job I had was with Boeing, and the B-52 was still in production in Wichita at that time, so that gives you some indication of how long ago that was. But I went to work for Boeing as an engineer, worked 3 years or so up there, and then Teeter Air Force Base was hiring engineers about that time.
Right.
And so I'm from Oklahoma originally, but I still had family in the area, and it was colder in Wichita than it is in Oklahoma City. so anyway, I hired in at Tinker Air Force Base in 1963.
You bring a unique perspective. You started at Boeing, then the Air Force, and then went back. So you have sort of a sandwich career with the Air Force.
Yeah, you know, Oscar, I spent that 32 years on the Air Force side, writing requirements and statements of work and putting together requests for proposals and those kind of things. And then I spent 10 years with Boeing trying to respond to those kind of things. So I didn't realize until I started trying to respond to them what a lousy job I did on the government side. But I got a good feel for what goes on both sides of the fence in the contracting world. The government, I think, continues to put more and more emphasis on competition.
Right.
I believe they have put emphasis on trying to ensure that small businesses get a piece of that pie.
Right.
Some of the larger contracts for the big contractors have a percentage of small business that they need to offload that work to. It remains difficult to do for a small company to do business with the federal government on a contract. There's just so much complexity and the fact that the government has to be good stewards of the public purse and give everybody an equal opportunity creates this intense competition.
Small businesses wrestle with writing effective or responsive proposals. What kinds of recommendations or what's been your experience and how you've seen that done with small business as opposed to large businesses who have obviously better resources for that?
Well, part of the work that I did with a consulting company here in the last few years, Oscar, was working with small manufacturers, primarily aerospace structural guys, machine shops and sheet metal shops. They were used to taking a drawing of a part, and I'm building this for an oil field or something.
Sure.
And I got a one-page drawing, and the guy wants to know what the price is and how soon I can deliver it.
Right.
And so I can work out that bid. Now we come along to the federal side, and here's a DLA solicitation for a similar part.
Right.
And there's an RFP that's that thick. It's got all the clauses and stuff, and it just scares the guys to death.
Right.
They don't know how to deal with that. Now you and I know that 95% of that is boilerplate, and it's just contract clauses that have developed over the years.
Right.
But for him to dig through all that and understand there's not something in there that's going to cause him to go bankrupt because the federal government's going to come and shut him down, scares him to death. So they need some help in understanding those solicitations. It's still very difficult for a small company to get in the federal contracting business. They have to make a commitment to do the hard work, and they have to understand that it's not going to be an overnight process. They need to start with some small wins and build that base up over time. And so there are a lot of success stories, small companies in Oklahoma that have over a period of years built up a substantial revenue base on small. I'm talking about a small machine shop that has bid on items, won them, and every time they come back around for a rebid, his work to rebid on that goes down, and he can just turn those bids and build up that base. But if you're looking for quick revenue and overnight success and being able to hit home runs, it's not going to happen.
Larry, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Oscar, glad to do it. I know maybe you'll be able to, you've had a long career in contracting, maybe you can help some of these small companies get through this maze.
That's what I've been trying to do in a lot of different spaces. Really appreciate your time.
Okay.
Really appreciate your effort.
All right.